All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Give me a second to refresh my YouTube as my cat is playing around by the router, so this could end pretty quick. Uh, hopefully, she will not destroy that. There we go. Hi, now I can see YouTube. I can see everyone. Hi, Jess. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How's everybody?
I am doing great. Look at chat is flying already. We
My
just got
goodness,
started.
God.
Hi. All right, what we're doing here today, there will be a hearing starting in about 30 minutes up in Idaho. Uh, is it going to be like, are we going to watch it? We're going to try. I imagine that we'll see them all come on. They'll probably go to a breakout room. So we'll have some time to talk. And they'll come back and say, bye, that was fun. And we'll have no idea what happened. That's what I think we're going to see today. Although I think we may see an argument to have it public. We're just going to have to wait. So your guess is as good as mine. We may just end here sitting talking with Jess for a couple hours. And that's fine. We like to do that too. So what's going on in your world this morning, Jess? Anything exciting?
No.
No.
Yeah. I'm renovating the living room, and we got some more furniture in today, so that's being put together. We'll see.
That is
If there's a
excellent.
loud crash, that's what it is.
Got it. And if we disappear, it's my cat playing with the router. So we have a lot of obstacles to overcome today. So as you see, Jess and I have some antlers on. Now, Jess, of course, has the high class Diamond D antlers. I got toys, but whatever. We are here.
On Amazon.
I have a new announcement for you. Certainly, if you've been watching our coverage of this case, you know that Mark Means likes to sit in his office in front of that placard he has with some antlers and a pheasant and a shotgun, because it's a big hunting area, and I guess he's a hunter. I don't know, but the way he sits sometimes, it looks like the antlers are coming out the side of his head, which we have found pretty hilarious. So today, we are wearing our antlers too, because why not? Why not? But also, because I get really inspired at like 2:00 in the morning. And last night I thought, we need like some kind of antler group and a logo and a t-shirt. So if you see the upper corner, the Antlers Amicus. This is our new group. If you want to join the Antler Club and follow this case with us, there you go, the Antlers Amicus. Let me show you on screen. There are some new things in my Teespring store because I could not resist. Jess, I'm crazy.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You
I
are
couldn't.
delirious at 2:00 in the morning. You should not be left here on devices.
I should not. And I
Nope.
was like, I got to get up and I've got to do stuff. So we have Antlers Amicus, 2 designs of t-shirts, a mug, a water cup, and a hoodie. And I want to do a sticker and other stuff like that. But for now, we've got antlers because that's all the rage. So
Apparently. You need
it's
to
just
make
fun.
a face mask for your Teespring store.
I could do a mask. Yep, the antlers mask. But yeah, if you wanted the link to the Teespring, I'm sure one of the mods will drop that down. But yeah, I thought that was fun. We got to find some sort of levity in this situation where we can, and certainly a lot of you like to pick on Mark Means, and wearing antlers I think is pretty funny. But Jess, yours are gorgeous. You look so pretty like that. So
Thank you.
classy with that bun. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Took ballet when I was little. I've been hooked ever since.
it. It's
Easy.
wonderful.
Put it in the bud.
We do have an antler emoji, although it's did I upload it here? Yes, we do. There we go. We've got antlers in chat.
We've got antlers. Yes, we do.
We got
We've got
everything.
How about you?
Oh, all right. So, yeah, I'm trying to bring a little lightness to today. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have a great big hearing. So, let's talk. One thing we're going to do once they come on and go to the breakout room, if you have any questions about the case, anything at all, drop it in chat. That'll give us a lot of time to talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever questions you might have. And I need to turn off my phone because that's going to make a lot of noise.
Yep.
There we go.
If
Okay.
you take a phone call on me today, I quit.
Yeah, that probably won't happen today. I'll try not to. Deer in the headlights. It could be that too, Gene. Yep. So yes, can't miss out on the antlers. All right. So let's talk about the case and let's get everybody caught up to date. A lot has happened in the last week or two. The first thing, the last time we were all here together for the last hearing, they said hello. Mark Means was with Wood and the judge in the breakout room. Wood popped back on the screen and said, hey, we need Pryor and the court reporter. And they had the entire hearing in the breakout room, which is kind of like judge's chambers. Right? And We don't know what they talked about, right? We still don't know for sure what was discussed in that meeting. They came back and said, okay, everything's vacated. See you on the 7th for a status hearing. We're like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, Manglia, thank you for the super chat. She says, hi, ladies. How are you? What do you ladies think about the murder charges coming for JJ and Tylee? Love the antlers. Let me get through the recap, and then we'll talk about that because we have a lot of thoughts about that for sure. All right, so we had that hearing, breakout. Everything was vacated, and the new hearing was set for April 7th for the status conference. That was for the lawyers to go and give an update of whatever they talked about in that hearing, which we still don't know. Shortly after that, we had 2 ex parte protective order filings. That was very strange, and it threw all of us for a loop. I believe those were filed by Wood. A lot of people believe they were filed by the defense. We don't know. Nobody publicly knows what those were or who they were filed by. There's still a lot of speculation in the air about those. Maybe we'll find out soon. We don't know. And then after that, we have 2 more filings. Pro Hoc Vice filings. I speculated right on day 1 that those were also by Rob Wood. Turns out they were. But we only know that because Rob Wood issued a letter to the Madison County Board of Prosecutors, the commissioners, and said, hey, I need to bring in this lawyer from out of state, Rachel Smith. She is a powerhouse. So we'll talk about her later. She is amazing, huge history of criminal prosecutions, death penalty cases, that kind of stuff. She's going to be working now with Rob Wood on the prosecution team. That should make everyone feel a little bit better about that. So that's what we're all thinking today's hearing is about. The judge has to approve it. It's not a done deal yet. But we don't actually know what today's hearing is about. The motion was redacted. So although we're all assuming they're going to talk about the Pro Hoc Vice, it could be something else. So we're going to have to wait and see what we can glean from their smirks. So what do you think about this whirlwind of 2 weeks of secrecy, Jess?
I don't like it. I want them to do everything in front of the camera and tell us about it. I don't like secrets. I don't like it. I'm hoping it means murder charges are coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yep. What I'm thinking is with the ex partes, that I have my suspicions what that was, with Rachel Smith coming on the scene. Now, you wouldn't bring Rachel Smith into this case to prosecute conspiracy to conceal evidence charges. That's not what she does. You only bring her if you're looking at capital murder or charges of that nature. So that's what I think she's here for. And today is just to verify, yes, okay, she's on the case. And then what? Tomorrow? Maybe a week from now, however long as it takes her to get acclimated, we get the murder charges. That's what I think is coming. What do you think?
I think so too. I mean, it makes sense if all the other hearings were vacated. It must mean that maybe these charges aren't going to apply much longer.
Yep. Now, certainly they could charge them with capital murder, conspiracy to commit murder, whatever, and these charges too.
Right.
But these charges are almost just going to get in the way if they want to go through a prosecution for the murder charges. So that's what we think is coming. That's what we hope is coming. We're going to have to wait and see. We may not hear anything today. We still may not have a darn clue what's going on after today's hearing. I don't know. I wish I could promise you more, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So,
and maybe the hearing is behind closed doors, but then they announce what happened at the end. I mean, maybe we'll know something without seeing the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we may be able to glean a little info. I don't know. I really hope it's public. Certainly, if they're just going to talk about Rob Wood wanting to add Rachel Smith to the case, we already saw the letter. Why would you need to have that hearing behind closed doors? There's no reason. There's also no reason that the Pro Hoc Vice motions are not public yet. Why do you got to hide that? We already all know. So why not just put them out there? So I'm getting a little concerned with some of the things that are being held back by the court because I don't see a need for it. Certainly, if Rob Wood himself is putting out letters outlining it, why would the motion have to be private? Unless there's more happening we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. There's that. Sam says, I think Miss Smith is coming to tie a yellow ribbon around the old murder tree. I agree, Sam. I agree. There's no other reason for her to be here. Rob Wood can prosecute conspiracy to conceal evidence all by himself. So, your host audio isn't good. She sounds mumbled. Hortensia, I don't know if she said the host audio. So, guys, give us a sound check. I'm going to say a sentence, and then Jess, let us know if one needs to go up or down. La la la. Hi, this is Awen. How are you doing today?
Oh, now you're making noise. I don't know. Okay, can you guys hear me? I readjusted the microphone. Is it loud enough? Too loud? I don't know.
Give a second for Jess to catch up. Emily says good. Mary says sounds good. Andrea says sounds good. Okay, you can hear both of us. The clicking. What's the clicking coming from?
It's you. Whenever you get loud, it starts clicking. I don't know. But then it quits.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
It's not doing it now.
Okay, good. Try to sit back a little bit. The guest is low. Yeah, Jess, if you can boost yours up even a little bit more, maybe.
Okie dokie.
Okay, yeah, because you are soft-spoken, so I tend to yell. I'm good at yelling. Okay, so we'll work on that. Guys, I will try to back off a little bit and be a little quieter, so you can turn your volume up and I won't blast your earbuds out because that sucks. But
how about now? Is that louder?
To me, it sounds exactly the same, so we got to hear what chat thinks.
Hopefully that works. Hopefully.
Salty asked, am I taking call-ins? I don't do that because you never know what somebody's going to say when they call in, and that's opening the door to a lot of troubles that I don't need. But you could ask questions in chat for sure. If you'd like to come on as a guest and discuss something, just shoot me an email and we can talk about it through there. But I don't like random call-ins because you never know what somebody's going to say. And that's just... Jess could be a bit louder. So there's something you could be louder. So I don't know if you can turn up your mic more or yell.
Yell.
Yeah, Lisa says, don't get excited, Eamon. I'll try to stay very calm and talk very quietly. I'm not good at that. I get excitable.
How about that? Is that better? Am I louder now? I feel like that cell phone commercial. Can you hear me now?
Just pretend you're yelling at the kids. That's all.
Yeah, no kidding. Give me a minute. I probably will be.
Yep. Dale, if you'd like to email me, the email address is in the description below. It's awenreesepodcast@gmail.com. So you can email me anytime. If there may be a delay getting back to you, I've got so much going on in the background, but I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. So, all right. Everyone sounds good. And Jess, they say that sounded better. Definitely better.
Okay. So. Good deal.
Excellent.
Yay.
All right. So let's do a time check. We've got 15 minutes before this started. So I've got the judges page open. Be watching for this. One thing I wanted to talk about, I almost forgot about this. We had a wedding in this case over the weekend. So let me put it up on the screen for you, if I can find it. I think it's this one. Yes, it is.
It's not Lori.
It was not Lori.
Not Lori.
Right here, this is Garth Daybell and his wife, Kyra, K-A-I-R-A, Kyra. So, Garth Daybell and Kyra, I'm wishing them the best. This is Chad's son. No ill will towards the Daybell children. You know, I have issues with Emma, but that's different. But congratulations, Garth and Kyra, I believe. They look happy. She's beautiful. Look at that. Mm-hmm. So that's them. And I have an image of his post on Facebook about it. Let me put that up for you. So we do wish them the best for sure. Here it is. This is from Garth Daybell. Married Kyra Daybell yesterday. So isn't that sweet? I'm happy for them. You know, at least it's a positive thing for that family, and they haven't had a positive anything in a long time. So I definitely wish them the best there. Yep, it is very sad that they didn't have a parent at their wedding. That is sad. But
can you imagine, like, if Chad was out on bail and had gone, he would have overshadowed the whole day.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
If it had gotten out and the press knew or anything, they would have completely crashed a wedding to take pictures of Chad Daybell at a wedding.
They definitely would have. So I'm really glad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So but best wishes to them. Also, Quaffle if you are in chat, can you say something with bright emojis or jump up and down so I can find you? Make sure to get you your wrench. I haven't done that yet. So What do you think about this hearing today? Are we all convinced it's the Pro Hoc Vice and we're going to see Rachel get added to the case? That's what I think. I can't conceive of what else this would be. Because there's no hint about it at all. That's my
Neither.
guess.
I mean, they vacated all the other stuff. I mean, that kind of leaves this. I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm reading chat. Catnit has just dropped a link to Jess Nelson's new channel. She's going to be starting some true crime stuff, covering the Gannon Stout case, a bunch of other cases that she's working on. That's going to be great. So give a sub there. I think she's getting her first video up tomorrow. Your first case video. Excellent. Yep. I cannot wait. Can't wait for that. Sam says the kids shouldn't pay for the crimes of their parents. I agree. Totally, Sam. When I mentioned Emma, it's some of the things that she's posted and her husband has done that don't sit well with me. But I don't think these kids are guilty of anything other than now they have to deal with, they've lost their mom. Their dad's probably in jail for the rest of his life. That can't be a good place to be. It really can't be. So I feel bad for them. But it's nice to see Garth at least going forward with his life. And he has a beautiful wife. So I hope they're happy.
Yeah.
What else is going to chat? Throw some questions at us. We've got about 10 more minutes before the hearing starts. What would you like to know about the Daybell case? And if we know, or if we can answer it for you. What time is it starting? Starting about 10 minutes, Mercini. We should get going on the hearing. Do you think that they will come back at later dates and do the change of venue hearing? Jess, what's your guess on that?
Well, we don't know if it was ruled on, right? Do we know that? I mean, do we know that it was vacated?
The hearing was vacated. We don't know if the motion itself was vacated. I have a sneaky feeling they've already stipulated to a change of venue.
I do too. I don't think anybody's going to argue that they're going to get a fair trial in that little town.
Yep, I agree. We're going to have to wait and see.
Going elsewhere. I don't know how they're going to get a fair trial anywhere, but, you know, I could see them granting that.
Diet Coke Lisa asked, does Mark Means get removed immediately when murder charges are dropped? No, he does not. The only determining factor when it comes to if a defense attorney can represent a client in the face of murder charges is not the murder charge. It's whether the prosecutor is seeking the death penalty. That requires experience. All right. So if Rob Wood drops murder charges with a death penalty charge or death penalty, Mark Means can stay on the case, but he will have to work alongside a death penalty certified attorney. So he'll bring someone on to work with him and he can proceed. Now, certainly a lot of that is up to Lori. She gets to pick her representation. That's your right. That's all of our rights. So if she wants him to stay, he'll stay, but he will have to have help. So that's how that works.
And prior is also not certified, right? Death penalty certified. And they don't have to announce that it's death penalty case when they drop the charges, right? They have a window of debating whether or not to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, well, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that next week. Oh, that would be something to see.
I hope so. I mean, why else would he have brought her in? I'm kind of surprised he brought her in before murder charges were dropped, but
and that
maybe he wants her help. I don't know.
Explain why you think that for a second. I need to cough, so I'm going to turn the camera off for a second.
Well, it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I mean, we all see that she's an amazing prosecutor and has done over 100 death penalty cases. And, you know, like Aylin said earlier, he doesn't need a lawyer, a hotshot lawyer from another state to prosecute what they're already locked up for. I mean, this is a pretty, from what we know, I guess, you would think this would be an easy case to slam by himself without spending a lot of money. Because this woman's going to be a lot of money, millions, I would say.
Yes. Rachel Smith does not come cheap at all.
No.
Lisa Discover says if they can get a jury in America for OJ, then they can for Chad and Lori. Absolutely, but probably not in Rexburg. Rexburg is a tiny town, and everybody there knows about this case. So that's going to be a problem. But they could go to Boise or maybe even Idaho Falls, although I think that's probably a little too close. But they can find a place. They will do it. They'll get it done. I expect to see a very long process of jury selection. I think voir dire could go 2 to 3 weeks.
A couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of like what we're seeing in the Chauvin trial, because they're really going to have to talk to these potential jurors and see where they're at before they seat them. So that'll be a long process.
I think it's going to be a lot like the Chauvin jury selection. They're not going to find 12 to 15 people who haven't heard of this case. It's going to be, how willing are you to listen to the facts and then make a decision? It's not going to be who hasn't heard of it. That's not going to happen.
Yep. So a lot of people are still asking about the antlers because they joined us late. We're picking on Mark Means. You guys know that I've come out in defense of Mark Means and his legal maneuvers. I think what he's doing legally is he's not doing a bad job, and everybody likes to scream about how stupid he is and inept he is, and I don't agree with that. I read all the filings. I look them all up. I try to understand what's going on. He's not doing a bad job, okay? But that doesn't mean he's my best friend either. So we're wearing antlers because when he shows up on the Zoom hearings, he has that antlers thing hanging up behind him, and it looks like they're coming out of his head, and we think that's really funny. So we're going for the antlers. We're going for the whole hunter thing, rah, or something.
Well, I used to have a different nickname for him, and I can't say that on this show.
No.
So we just go with antlers now. I call him Antlers.
Yeah, we call him Antlers. When we're talking, about the case, well, what do you think Antlers is going to do about this or that? So, yeah, that's all. It's a tip to Mark Means.
Maybe we'll show up as bullfrogs one day for a prior. You just never can tell.
The Cheese Factor says the antlers will enable you to read Mark Means' mysterious mind. There you go.
I'm taking them off. That is not a walk through somebody's mind I want to take. Sorry.
Goodness. Diet Coke Lisa says, I think Mark Means baits people on Twitter to show how far-reaching this case is and how hard a fair trial would be. I agree with you 100%. 100%. He doesn't tweet stuff on Twitter because he's just dumb and thinks that's a good tweet. No, there's a purpose behind all those tweets, and I think you're right. I do.
He needs to get off Twitter, in my opinion. He needs to quit.
Yeah, I do. I agree. Some of the things he's said has been like, that's like an ethics violation, dude. Quit it. So, yeah. Do I think Means or Pryor will also bring in help? Absolutely. Certainly if there are murder charges, and definitely if there's death penalty, because they will have to. So, yeah. At some point, they'll have to have help. So, I do expect to see that. Let's see. Hi, Hot Scorpio.
Oh, yay. Do you think we're going to see a plea deal at all?
That's tough.
On either side.
That's tough because I think even though Rob Wood may offer one, I think these two attorneys might not play that ball. And certainly the clients, I don't think Chad and Lori, what would we need a plea deal for? We're innocent. Please. So I think there have been plea deal discussions. I mean, in any case, you're going to have plea deal discussions. Nothing has been reached yet. Will we? I don't know. We've got some powerful characters involved. That don't seem to want to just agree.
What do you think the chances are that we see charges for anybody else?
The only charge that I think may be added to this particular case might be Tammy, and that's only if they're going to tie Lori into the conspiracy. Otherwise, I think that would be a totally separate case. I don't think we're going to see anything about Alex or Charles in this case because those are another state. Rob Wood does not have jurisdiction to bring murder charges for those cases here in Idaho. So if they pursue that at all, I don't know if they will. That would have to be in Arizona, Utah, wherever those happened. So.
Do you think we're going to see any more conspirators?
If I had my way, I've got a list of co-conspirators. Do I think Rob Wood is going to push that? I don't. And that concerns me a little bit. But let's see what Rachel Smith does when she gets her hands on all this information. That may change. Because remember, Rob Wood did open that door. One of the hearings, he said, he was reading the document. He said, these conspirators and others. He put a clause in there saying that there may
Mhm.
be other conspirators coming forward, or at least being charged. So he did open the door to that. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yep.
Let's see what else is going on in chat. Well, let me check the judge's website. I've been forgetting. We have 5 minutes till the hearing starts. Well, 3 minutes now. 3 minutes, and Judge Boyce is usually very on time. So if this is going to be public at all, we'll see it in 3 or 4 minutes. If we don't see it, this may be a short live stream. Let's see. Manglia says both Melanies, in my opinion, should be charged. What do you think about that?
I've had my sights on Melanie Gibbs since we did the End of the World live stream party.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I said anything about. I thought she was in on it, and
Mm-hmm.
people roasted me like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, not poor, sweet, innocent Melanie. She's brainwashed. She's naive. Not Melanie. She's so innocent. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really changed the tide for the public perception of Melanie Gibb was Chad's preliminary hearing, where she admitted on the stand that, yes, she initially did lie to police and say that JJ was with her. That was the first time we'd heard that officially, and it was like, wow, that's kind of a bombshell. So that
For
changed a lot
9
of people's
days.
opinion.
Yeah, for 9 days. Not a couple hours. 9 days.
Yep.
She let them look for the kids for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
LLPS when the trial is. It is scheduled to begin in July. That's not going to happen. That's not. So we're going to have to wait.
Maybe
This could
July
be
2023.
Exactly. If he's going to bring these murder charges with a death penalty, we're not going to see a trial probably for a couple of years. So,
and that would be fast for a death penalty case. I mean, Tim Jones Jr., not even factoring in COVID and all that, was 4.5 years before they brought it to trial.
Yeah.
And he confessed.
Yeah. So even with a confession, it took that long. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sassy Cat mentions our favorite Mason Cow.
Oh.
Yep. And one of my concerns has always been that I'm not seeing him on a witness list. Is nobody talking to him? What's going on? Because the stuff that we found out should be at least enough for a sit-down interview with law enforcement. So I don't know if they talked to him or not.
His name is suspiciously out of everything. Like, he should come up just as a periphery. Oh, he knew these people. He was at this meeting, whatever. But his name is just never there.
Right.
And that's suspicious.
And we have a question in chat about your favorite thing. Does anyone know if anyone identified who actually attended the After Charles murder pool party? That is something that you are stuck on.
I am.
Who do you think was there?
We know Colby was there. We know the kids were there. We know Lori was there. I'm wondering if Melanie was there, Melanie Gibb, and possibly Jason Mao. I always want to know where he is when people get shot.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the first question. Somebody got shot at. Where's Jason Mao?
Yeah, where was Jason Mao? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's not an unreasonable question. It's really not.
He advertises himself as a sniper and has a very long military record. So people start shooting people. You want to know where the shooter is. So
yeah. So we don't know who is at the pool party. The statements about it are a little wishy-washy, and maybe we'll find out in the trial. I would like to know, because that was quite a day. But then again, remember, that has nothing to do with these current charges. Right. So all of the events surrounding Charles may not come up at all in the actual trial. I hope they would, as some sort of historical look. She's problematic, but we don't know. Darlene, yes, they had a pool party the day after Charles was shot. After they removed the body and I guess cleaned the floor, they had a pool party in the backyard of that house.
I thought it was the same day.
It was the same day.
Okay, you said the day after. Yeah. It was the same day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same day. They cleaned up and had friends over for a pool party.
And neighbors called the owner of the house and the police. Yeah.
Yep. And yes, the hearing should have started a minute ago. I'm constantly refreshing the judge's page. I can't see chat because I'm waiting. So either it's not going to be public at all and we're not going to see anything, or they're just running a minute or two late. So I am watching. As soon as I know, you'll know. Of course, we don't hear anything for 5 or 10 minutes. That could be the end of this. So they might not just be going public at all. But we'll see. We shall see. Oh, I'm hoping because I want to see what happens. Someone asked if we would see murder charges during today's hearing. I don't think that wouldn't happen in a court hearing. You know, he would file the charges. We'd get the affidavits and all that other stuff. He doesn't need a hearing to do that. He could just walk over and file them.
Yeah. So, I can't wait to see that affidavit. I cannot wait.
I hope we get to see it. Well, if that's sealed, I will be very upset. I really will.
I could see why they would seal it, though. I mean, just knowing the state that the kids, you know, were buried in and all that, I can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm checking. East Idaho News is also just sitting there waiting. So we're all waiting for the judge. We do expect to at least see them pop on the screen to say hello. Maybe give us a wave and a shout out. Judge Boyce, I want a shout out. But nothing has happened yet. So we're not missing it. We are just waiting. So
my goodness.
I apologize.
My phone was ringing.
My antlers are ringing.
No, my phone is ringing.
Hi, Nikki Fleming. Nikki Fleming says, "Hey, Ewan." So hi, how are you?
Hello.
Sorry, I'm missing a lot of chat because I'm trying to keep an eye on the judge's stream because we do not want to miss even a second of that because somebody could smirk, and if we miss that, we'll never know what happened.
Oh man, it's like reading tea leaves around here.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that lately. A lot of that. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, but
yeah. But if we do see murder charges, then it confirms the autopsies are back.
Yep.
It will at least tell us that.
Court is currently in a breakout session. Dude, I think that's all we're going to get.
So. Well, they're not even streaming it. Why are they in a breakout?
I don't know. Well, that's the image that is up on East Idaho News, but that is not currently being broadcast from the court. So that could just be an image from before, one of the previous streams. So we'll just have to wait.
Do you think Rachel is the new prosecutor is in that meeting? Do you think they're questioning her at all?
She could be. I don't know for sure if she's there or not, but it wouldn't be unreasonable, you know, for Rob Wood to bring her in to talk to the judge.
I wonder when we'll get to see her, like, in action.
I would guess this week. I have a sneaky feeling we may see her tomorrow.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Knowing them, they'll wait till Friday at 5 o'clock, and then we'll have all weekend to sit there and be like, what?
Yep. Yeah. J. Christian Handsucker says in chat, Mr. Wood is holding back Chad's late wife's autopsy, bringing on a special prosecutor's leverage against Chad and the married widow Lori Vallow. I agree. I definitely agree. Oh, here we go. There's something going on. Let me share my screen. It's just the seal. We don't have nothing yet. So, where is it? Judge Boyce.
Tell you what, if nothing else, the past couple of years, we have figured out what every state seal looks like.
We
have watched. We have watched enough trials.
Yep, we certainly have. Oh, goodness. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on this. As soon as we hear noise, I will mute us and make it full screen. I will turn the volume up as loud as I can on my end. I recommend headphones because I can't control how much volume is coming out of the court. So you might want some headphones. Yeah, you like our antlers. We decided to dress up. Mark Means wears antlers in all the hearings, so we should too. Why not? And the Antlers Amicus, you see our new logo up in the corner, and new T-shirts and cups and mugs on Teespring. If you want to be part of the Antler crew while we go forward covering this case, now's the time to get your gear so we can match. And for the next live stream, hopefully I'll have my T-shirt. I just ordered them because I need an Amicus T-shirt. Antlers
You are so
amicus.
funny.
I was inspired. Middle of the night
Yeah.
inspiration.
Fever dreams will do that to you.
Yeah. There's so much happening with this case and my involvement with the coverage of it and stuff behind the scenes. I haven't really slept well in about a week because my brain is just going 10 miles an hour and it won't stop. So, you know, the seal has antlers as well. Oh, I just noticed that. Oh, Brendan Tube, that's hilarious. Look at the seal of the court in the middle of it.
Oh my gosh.
See, that's it. Our antlers represent the great seal of the state of Idaho. If you want to support the state of Idaho, get your antler gear. Let's do this. Let's do this.
My goodness.
The antler amicus, that's us. Oh, good grief. Yeah, so you follow this case for a year and it's going to make you a little crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could do. Can we find a pheasant? Yes, everybody, let's do I Spy game. Is there a pheasant on the seal of Idaho? Can anyone find one? I don't see one, but you know.
This case might drive me to wild turkey. I don't know about pheasants, though.
Yeah, wild turkey in the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Somebody points out there's also a guy with a shovel in the seal. The seal is talking to us.
Oh, man.
Here we go. The seal is telling us stuff. This is concerning.
If this went like you could lay it out, you pick everything that happens between now and when it's completely done. How would you want to see this go? Would you want to see plea deals? Would you want to see a trial? What would you pick?
Well, first I want to see the affidavits.
Yeah.
If I think the affidavits for the murder charges are really, really strong, okay, not a lot of holes in them, then I want to see them go straight for the death penalty all the way. No pleas. Go for it. If they're weak and I'm seeing a lot of holes, because holes means reasonable doubt, they only have to convince one juror of reasonable doubt and it's over. You know, if that's the case, then make a plea deal for life without parole. That's much safer than risking an acquittal because the death penalty was too much of a stretch for the jurors. But they will also have lesser included. So it's not like they can say, we're not going to go for the death penalty, but, you know, the jury can come back with their own, you know, depending on they run the penalty phase in this. So I don't think they're getting anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere ever again. But I want a nice, safe, really good conviction. And if that requires a plea deal and they're both in jail for the rest of their lives, I'm okay with that. I am. I'm okay.
I just think it's going to get crazy. Like, I don't know. With the Watts case, and I know we don't want to talk about it, but like since it ended with a deal, a lot of questions were still left on the table, and people in the true crime community go nuts, like with what they don't know. So, but then you're not having to put autopsy photos and all that out to the public, because that's really psychologically damaging to everybody that's in the courtroom, including the jury, you know?
Yes.
So it's always about, like in my head, I always think, what's a good balance? Is it worth torturing and making more victims, or, you know, locking them up and throw away the key kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm generally against the death penalty. I really am. I've never had an issue with life in prison without parole for certain people. And I wouldn't mind seeing that in this case. Certainly someone in chat pointed out that, let me read the comments, it was good. Got K says, if I'm honest, I want to see a plea for both so that Larry and Kay can have peace of mind and will not have to go through the pain of a trial. My heart wants them to not have to do that. Me too. You know, when it comes to thinking of the family and the survivors that have to go through this trial, what a nightmare to have to hear these details, and worse details than anything we've ever heard so far, because they'll have the medical examiner and all of that. And the prolonged nature of that, you know, day after day, they'll be sitting in a courtroom listening to this. That's victimizing people all over again. And it's very traumatic. So in that case, plea, life in prison without parole, great. That spares the county, it spares the people, it spares the victims, and it does get justice for the children. That's the best case scenario. That would make the rest of us a little crazy because we like this burning need to know what actually happened, and we won't hear any of that. But that's not what's important. Justice for the kids is important, and the safety and well-being of the family is important. So I'm totally good with that.
Well, I personally think that Lori is a narcissist, and everything that I know about narcissists, she is not taking a deal. She will never admit she did something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see that. I think she'll go. If Chad's smart, he'll take one. He'll flip and not go to trial, but I don't know that he's ever been accused of being smart. So,
Yeah.
Who knows with that one?
Feeding It has a really good point. There's no obligation to the public other than the transparency, like of the judicial process. But
Right.
anything to humiliate the obvious offender, I'm in favor. Knowing all is just a sad bonus. But let's just
It's
get them.
sad. The one, I think we have a really top-notch judicial system, in America. But one thing we don't do is we don't take care of victims and victims' families very well.
Yep.
Especially after a case is closed. You just kind of get dropped.
And like Sam Costa said, trials don't only involve the defendants. The families get caught up in the insanity of the whole thing. And that's a really traumatic process. So yeah, we need much better victims advocacy and treatment. And like, remember even the jury in Tim Jones Jr., the judge offered them therapy after that trial.
Oh yeah.
They had kind of become victims after dealing with that. So definitely need to focus.
They all went, that jury all went and got matching tattoos after that trial was over. Because they wanted to stay in contact and they'd been through something together.
Yeah.
But I mean, just talking about that trial, you want to talk about crazy. Even his family. I mean, we're not even going to talk about what it did to his ex-wife Amber. Like, that tore me up to see her completely fall apart on the stand, and they had to clear the courtroom. It was heartbreaking. But even when you got to the penalty phase, they completely drug his grandma through the mud. Like, there was no, is it worth it? Like, I don't know. Like, did anybody ask that? Is it worth ruining everybody's life around him in hopes that he wouldn't get the death penalty? I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to find a picture of us. Where they can see us while we're just standing. Who wants to look at the seal all day? But I'll put it back up as soon as anything happens. It's a crazy question, but
that trial was hard to watch. That one was hard.
Can an atheist be charged with perjury? Yes, of course, because the swearing in, when you offer to give sworn testimony and you say, I promise to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, you don't have to swear in on a Bible. You can swear in on whatever is sacred to you. All right. So you're not bound to swearing in on a Bible. So then later you can say, well, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. So my oath didn't count. Doesn't work that way.
A lot of times they're leaving that out now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times if you watch them swear in, they don't hold the Bible. They just hold their right hand up. And they've even changed the wording, to so help me God is left out.
Yeah.
So you're still.
So that's not really
bound.
a thing.
Yeah.
So definitely you can still be charged with perjury. Prairie Ballabusta, I hope I said that right. Thank you for the super chat. She asks, as a secondary homicide victim, ×4. Oh, goodness. Awen and Jess, thank you for keeping your priorities in order, remembering the survivors. You're welcome. Yeah. And that's, the reason that we're sitting here is because JJ and Tylee stole our hearts.
Yep.
And we are not going to rest until we see justice for them. Kresha, thank you for the super chat. Hi, how are you?
Kresha.
I need to talk to you. I hope you got my text message. Yeah, that was a weird thing with Teespring. I don't know what's going on. I have to investigate how my name got changed and all that stuff, but it's all good. But thank you for letting me know. And I'm glad you like your sticker. Yay. And I hope you're doing well. Kresha K. Easton, those of you may not know, she is JJ's aunt. And our hearts go out to them and the family with every breath we take. So please put some blue and purple hearts in the chat for Kresha, because she's on our mind every minute of the day. We still have nothing from the court. I just checked again. It's still just the seal.
You feel like I mean, after a while when we get involved in these cases, you feel like you know the family. Mm-hmm. I'm the same way with Gannon. I feel like I know Landon.
Yeah. Definitely. Because when you when you hear JJ and Tylee's story and you see pictures of them and movies of them and you fall in love with them, you experience a level of pain realizing what happened to them. Even though you've never seen them in your life, you can still feel that. And then you can feel what the family must have felt. And that's where it can be very devastating. Certainly it's not on par with what they're feeling, but you can relate in such a way that you want to take a magic wand and steal their pain. And you can't, and that's
think
that I hate.
like technology has completely changed our judicial system. I mean, right now we're watching Zoom hearings. Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
But with the advent of like social media and what's happening with the true crime community, people are coming together. It's not somebody just watching a documentary. We're coming together in little communities on Facebook, on YouTube, on whatever. And then when you start watching the social media post of or about the victims, you feel like you know them. I mean, it was so prevalent. It was Shanann Watts. I mean, she put everything on Facebook. So you felt like you know her. You felt like you knew the kids. You knew when she didn't feel good, when she had chronic illness. So, I'd clued in on that. Like, I felt, you can look great on the outside and feel awful. And you just feel like you know them. I know we've seen so many videos of JJ and Tylee, and it's heartbreaking. It brings a whole nother side in. Social media has really changed the way the judicial system works. I mean, it just has.
Yep. Nikki Fleming, thank you for the super chat. That was great. Thank you so much. She says, I love my AWIN, and Jess, you are great too. Thank you for the support. Thanks. That means the world. One of the things that you hit on, Lori Hellis. Hi, Lori Hellis is in chat.
Hi, Lori.
Is that the real Lori Hellis? I thought I gave you a wrench. Why did that go away? That shouldn't have gone away. Interesting. I assume that's Lori Hellis. She is wonderful. If the mods could link to the LoriVallowStory.com website, that's Lori Hellis's newsletter. She writes a newsletter covering the legal stuff of the case, like explaining to you in normal human terms what all of these crazy filings mean. And it is a valuable resource for anyone. So please give that a follow.
And if you haven't watched the interview where she was on your channel not that long ago, oh, that was great. Go back and watch it. She was a good interview.
Yep, I had the absolute honor of spending some time with Lori Hellis right here on YouTube, and she answered as many, like almost 2 hours worth of questions from chat. Yeah. So that's a must see, and that's just from a couple days ago here on my channel. Kresha says,
"Can't wait for her book."
Okay, yeah. Kresha says, thank you all so much. I've reached over 1K subs and will now be able to use my channel as a platform to give my angel family their voices. That is amazing. Please sub to Kresha K. Easton. I think one of the mods can drop a link to that on YouTube. There are some videos of the kids and stuff, and it is lovely to see that. So there you go. Emily says, you lost your second factor ID. I can't help you with that. You're going to have to find your second factor ID. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's why two-factor authentication is so important, because if you lose it, you're in trouble. So yeah. I'll see what I can do. Just get with me. Lori Hellis says, we will do another live soon. Yay. But why are you not a mod anymore? I'm going to give you a wrench, and I hope you're the real Lori Hellis. And I'm not giving someone who's pretending to be Lori Hellis a wrench, because that could suck. But I know I did give her one at one point. Also, Quafflenux, I'm still looking for you in chat. If you said something, I didn't see you, so jump up and down real big. I need to find you over there. All right, so what do we got coming up? We're still waiting on this hearing. The hearing is happening right now. It's behind closed doors, so to speak, in judges' chambers, the new virtual judges' chambers, which is a breakout session. Are they going to come back and say something? Maybe. They didn't say anything before they started, so we may not get anything today but us jibber-jabbering, which would make me sad. But what everyone is assuming they're talking about, and maybe Lori Hellis can answer this in chat, we're all assuming that they're talking about the pro hoc vice motions by Rob Wood to introduce Rachel Smith onto the case, that required a hearing, and that's what today is all about. Now, today, originally, would have been the motion to dismiss and change of venue. Those were vacated, but I guess since the spot was still open, the judge said, hey, let's do this motion today. So that's what we're doing.
Right.
I think I hear something. Nope, that's just you having a drink.
Oh, I think it's
I thought maybe they were
antlers.
coming in, but no, that was just you.
Is there something rustling in the bushes? Like,
Yeah.
what is it?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Does Kresha have a channel to promote? She does. Mods, do you have a link to that? If not, I will grab one for you. Let me go get that.
I watched her channel last night. I subbed yesterday. I found
Excellent.
it.
Hold on one second. I'll get you the link. And mods, we need to add this to our link list so we can promote it when we're live. I'll put a star icon so you can see it. That channel right there. Oh, Sarah got it. Thank you. That is Kresha's YouTube channel. So yeah, please go over there and give her a sub. That would be great. Yeah. Oh, and now we got all the links. We all got the links. Thank you, Catnip. Thank you. Oh, yeah, there you go. I don't know what to do with this hearing. You know, I'm really hoping that they'll at least tell us, at least come out and like wave or something before it's over. Who knows?
Even just so that we know it's over. Right. Even if they don't say anything.
Well, the live stream on the judge's channel will stop. But we're looking at this and then it just stops. So there you go. It's over. I wouldn't think that a hearing, if it's simply the Rohak Viche and Rachel Smith, it's not going to be that long. I mean, I'm sure the defense will argue against it, obviously, but they shouldn't have hours and hours of debate over it.
What do you think the argument against it would be, other than, you think it's just money? They'll throw up. It's going to cost a lot of money.
Why would they? I think they're going to try to argue the money thing, although technically that's not, and Lori Hallis, correct me if I'm wrong, but the defense can't go in there and say, Judge, this is too much money. They're going to spend millions of dollars and we don't have it. That's not a determination the defense can make or even raise as a legal issue, is why they would object to Rachel Smith. They may raise it just to get it on the record, and try to use that almost as to upset the people in the county. Look how much money he's spending, kind of a thing. But that's not technically a legal something that could stop this from happening. I think that their main defense.
There it goes.
What?
They're on screen.
What?
Yep.
Oh, goodness. All right, here we go. Making it loud. All right, gonna make it full screen and mute us. Hold on, I forgot to share audio, and I want to make sure you can hear it. There we go. Chrome tab. There we go. Full screen. Super loud. They haven't started talking yet. Mark Beans is clicking his pen. And there's our antlers. Okay, I'm going to mute, and now you should be able to let me know if you can hear noises from this, like clicking and stuff.
All right, I think we're ready to go on the record here. This is cases CR 222755, State versus Chad Guy Daybell. Mr. Daybell is represented by Attorney John Pryor, and Fremont County case CR 2220838, State versus Lori Noreen Daybell Vallow, who's represented by Mr. Means. Before the court today is a motion for pro hac vice admission of an out-of-state counsel filed by the state. We took up some housekeeping matters prior to this hearing, and based on our discussions, the motion was filed in both cases for pro hac vice admission. The court's going to reserve argument or ruling on the issue in regards to the Lori Noreen Daybell Vallow case, which is the 838 case. and we will go forward with the motion as it relates to Mr. Daybell. So, Mr. Pryor, as we get started, I know your client is not here attending this hearing. Have you discussed his right to attend the hearing today?
I did, Judge. I spoke with him first thing this morning, had a conversation with him, and at this point, we're going to go forward without his attendance, Your Honor.
All right, and he waives the right to be present for the hearing today then?
Yes, he does, Judge.
Very well. I will note that we are conducting this hearing by Zoom with our ongoing COVID-19 order that governs how we conduct these proceedings. We're also recording this by the FTR system in Fremont County, Idaho, as well as it's being reported by the court reporter, and it's also being live streamed on the court's official YouTube channel. So as I mentioned, there is a motion for pro hac vice admission of a Rachel Smith that's been filed by the state. I reviewed the motion and the proposed order, and I did have a few questions on that. As we get started, Mr. Wood, I guess maybe one way to start is to just have me address a couple of the questions I had on the motion to get started, since it is typically just a pro forma motion, and then I'll hear your responses, and then Mr. Pryor, I'll let you respond. So one of the issues in looking at the motion, Mr. Wood, under the Idaho Bar Commission Rule 227, that governs our pro hac vice admissions in Idaho, and one of the requirements is that the attorney seeking to be involved in the case would need to, under Parte 2, currently maintain an ongoing law practice in another jurisdiction. So I didn't see that information provided in the motion, and the court would need to have this attorney has an ongoing law practice in another jurisdiction at this time.
Okay, I can verify that yes, Ms. Smith does have an ongoing practice in Missouri. She practiced for many years in both St. Louis Circuit Prosecutor's Office and then in the Attorney General's office in Missouri. She now has a private practice firm. A large part of what she does is special prosecutions and then helping prosecutors on cases. And so, yes, she does have an ongoing law practice and is in good standing in the state of Missouri.
Okay, I did see the information that she's has paid the fee and filed the certificate of good standing with the state of Idaho. I just wanted to make sure that requirement was met with, so I would ask that you submit a supplement to the admission that complies with that Rule 82, where she, and I appreciate your representation, she does, but where Ms. Smith can confirm that she maintains an ongoing practice, as you mentioned. The other issue I wanted to bring up, and then I'll hear again from you and Mr. Pryor if we need to, but there's an issue I see here where she could be admitted under the pro hac admission rules. In this case, you're appointed as a special prosecutor under Idaho Code 312603 to prosecute a case in Fremont County. And where Ms. Smith would be coming on, I guess I'd like some clarification. Is she going to be obviously prosecuting in the case? And if so, has Fremont County been consulted, and have they agreed that she should be also appointed as well as a special prosecutor? And typically when we do these orders, the terms of the appointment also include payment arrangements that the county's agreed to. So just based on your being appointed as a special prosecutor, I wanted to get to that issue before we got too far into the process, knowing being admitted under 227 Pro Hac gets you a limited license to practice in Idaho for a specific case. But then on that issue of appointment of a special prosecutor, I wondered if you had discussed that with Fremont County or not.
Your Honor, we didn't discuss it with Fremont County. She's being appointed to help the Madison County prosecutor as a special prosecutor in the case. We've discussed it with Madison County. They're funding it. And so we did not speak directly with the Fremont County Commissioners on that.
Okay. And I guess that issue then, this case is, as I mentioned, is Fremont County case CR 22-2755. That's the case before the court and the case I'm presiding over. So any admission by this would be to this case. And as I understand the bar rule also, it's a case-by-case admission. So an attorney admitted pro-hack on one case does not necessarily enjoy pro-hack status for admission in another case. And I think that would require separate application. So in other words, the scope of any order would be specific as to the case I just mentioned, Mr. Daybell's case under the 755 heading, and it wouldn't be an appointment for any other matter.
Okay.
Okay. So those are the concerns I just had on the motion. Is there anything you'd like to say in additional support of the motion, Mr. Wood?
No, Your Honor, I think that the motion speaks for itself. This is a very complicated case. The amount of discovery, as we've talked about, is it's very, very large. There's a lot of information, and so we're seeking to have her help on this case through the Madison County Prosecutor's Office, appointed as special prosecutor. Other than that, Your Honor, I think the motion just speaks for itself.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wood. Mr. Pryor, your response to the motion for the pro-hac fiche admission of Rachel Smith?
Judge, you addressed the very issues that I had concerns with as well. You were astute enough to recognize the two things that I find problematic. One, that this is a Fremont County case. And as a Fremont County case, Mr. Wood, obviously, if his prosecutor's office wants to retain people to help him with his caseload, he has every right to seek whatever resources he wants to do that. And he can obviously hire anybody he wants. He's the chief prosecutor in Madison County. But this court identified the very issue of the pro-hac rule. And the pro-hac rule is case specific. And as a case specific rule, he does not get to enlarge, retain someone and say, you're going to handle all of my cases, and you're going to train my staff, and you're going to teach us how to properly prosecute cases. That's not something that he's prevented from doing. But in this particular case, he's prevented from having Ms. Smith participate unless Fremont County gives them their blessing, and that they're agreeing that Ms. Smith may come on, that Ms. Smith may participate this, because he's not the Madison County prosecutor in this case. He's the Fremont County special prosecutor, and he's a representative of Fremont County at this point. And at this point, it's Fremont County that's going to make the decision whether Ms. Smith shall be allowed to do this on this particular case in this particular situation. Now, what Mr. Wood chooses to do with his other cases, that's up to him. And for all practical purposes, Judge, this pro-hac motion is fine as long as Fremont County signs off on it. And if Fremont County signs off on it and approves this, then we can go down this road. The other issue I have is this, Judge. I've done some research on Ms. Smith, and the information I have, and I don't want to suggest that my information is complete, but the information I have is that she's a consulting firm and that she does not have an active practice. Now, she's licensed in Missouri, but I need some sort of declaration from Ms. Smith saying, yes, I am actually practicing law in the state of Missouri. And if she does that, then that issue is resolved. If she has an active law practice in Missouri, by all means, let's move forward. But those are the two things that I think we need to resolve before this court even considers signing an order. So my suggestion at this point, Judge, is Mr. Wood filed the supplemental information from Fremont County saying that they're okay with this. Ms. Smith filed a supplemental declaration saying, I am licensed, practiced in Missouri, and I have an active law practice, whether that's criminal defense, whether that's prosecutorial work, whatever the nature of that practice is, and those issues are resolved at this point. And then obviously, if Mr. Wood wants to bring in someone to assist him or needs help in how to prosecute a case of this nature, by all means, he has every right to do that. But those two things need to be resolved, Judge, and I appreciate the court identifying those. I didn't mean to be so verbose, but I do want to set my feelings on this. It's not necessarily an objection as much as it is, let's get the proper housekeeping taken care of before this court signs an order.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wood, do you have anything further to offer in support of the motion?
Yes, Your Honor. As the appointed special prosecutor, I'm allowed to prosecute this case as I see fit. I'm not asking Fremont County for the money to hire Ms. Smith. And as such, I don't think the court needs to make a finding that I've gotten it approved for the Fremont County Commissioners. If I were, I'm not being compensated for this case. If we were asking them for money, I could see that being an issue. We're not. So we're fine with an order limiting the her admission to this case. I actually have Ms. Smith is here with me right now. I can have her make a declaration to the court of her law practice, or if the court would prefer that in writing, we can do that as well.
Well, if she's here and available to testify, I think that's probably the most efficient way to do that. Good afternoon, Ms. Smith. This is Judge Boyce. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. I've considered the application for pro hac vice admission. Prosecutor indicates you'd be willing to make a statement to testify in this hearing regarding your qualifications. Are you prepared to do that?
Absolutely.
All right. If you would do me the favor then of raising your right hand, I'll have the clerk please place Ms. Smith under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the cause now pending will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Smith, this will be brief, but under our pro hac vice admission rule in Idaho, Bar Commission Rule 227, there's a requirement that you currently maintain an ongoing law practice in another jurisdiction. Can you advise the court whether or not you in fact maintain an ongoing law practice in another jurisdiction?
Yes, Your Honor. I maintain a law practice primarily involving special prosecutions. I am a special prosecutor or an appointed prosecutor assisting at least 2 counties in the state of Missouri. I also consult both on legal matters and on legal training from multiple other jurisdictions. I also have a small civil practice in the state of Missouri. I do not do any criminal defense work, as in Missouri, that would be a conflict of interest. So I do no criminal defense, but I am an appointed prosecutor or special prosecutor, and that is my primary practice.
Okay, thank you. And so you're currently the attorney of record in some pending cases, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is satisfied with that representation, then that Rule 227E2 is met for the purpose of the pro hac vice request for admission. And thank you for the testimony, Ms. Smith. Counsel, regarding the issue of whether or not Fremont County needs to be involved in this, again, I'm just looking at Idaho Code 312603, which governs the appointment of a special prosecutor, and the order of appointment in this case was entered. Give me a moment. Well, it was entered obviously appointing you as the prosecutor for this Fremont County case from Madison County, Mr. Wood. And I guess the question I do have is the order appointed the Madison County Prosecutor's Office. And so it is specific as to the scope of that appointment. So in my mind, Ms. Smith can be admitted, but in order to be on the case would need to either be a deputy of your office or part of your office, or else receive a special appointment again from Fremont County. If you think there's some other authority out there that says otherwise, I'm open to listening to that. I'm just looking at the rule for special appointment of a prosecutor under 312603, and it is a housekeeping matter, but I think it's important to note that the attorney in a case has got the proper authority to act as a prosecutor. So do you have any additional comments on
Your Honor, I see that very much akin to her being appointed as pro hoc vice. Is very much the same thing as me deputizing an attorney to help in a case. I think that's, I really don't see a difference between the two. I think under my special appointment as a prosecutor on this case, that would give me the authority to bring in someone pro hoc vice, and essentially deputize her once she receives that status.
Okay, and that is probably another approach to it, because I would note that that statute says once you're on the case, then the person so appointed has all the powers of the prosecuting attorney while so acting as such in the case. So if that's your plan going forward, if she'll be active in the case, then I just ask for you to submit a declaration with the court that she's been deputized, and I think that would satisfy the issue of her acting under your special prosecutor status for the matter.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Pryor, we went through some things there. I didn't really give you an opportunity to respond. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, Judge, I agree with the court's analysis.
Okay, if you'll follow up with that then, Mr. Wood, with that, the court's satisfied on the pro hac vice admission, and I'll sign an order to that effect. And regarding the special prosecutor issue, if you just want to supplement with that, I'll watch for that to be filed in the case, Mr. Wood.
We will get that done right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, our next hearing is going to be on April 7th for what's scheduled as a status conference. If council has other motions they'd like to bring up at that time that can be timely filed and heard, I've got time that afternoon just for planning purposes. With that in mind, Mr. Pryor, is there anything else we need to bring up on behalf of your client today?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Wood, anything further?
No, thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Means, anything further from you this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks everyone. Appreciate your attendance, and we will be in recess.
Well, we're back. Turn off my share screen. There we go. Hi, is my mic on? I think it's on. It should be on.
I can hear you.
Okay, interesting. That's what we thought was going to happen. Okay, that's what we thought the hearing was about. Turns out we were all right. Good for us. We're learning. I think all of us are going to be able to pass the bar exam by the time we're done watching this case. What do you think, Jess?
Well, I called it. I said, she'll be there. You watch. I said, Rachel Smith will be there. Yep. I'm glad she was there.
Yep. That was a very smart move. I would have been surprised if she hadn't been there, but very smart. Say, well, she's right here, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now, about Pryor, he did have a valid argument. Okay. Now, we all wanted to dump on Pryor. I know that. I do too. But he raised 4 issues that I noticed that seemed pretty valid to me. Rob Wood did state in his letter to the commissioners that one of the benefits of having Rachel Smith there was that she could train the prosecutor's team on how to prosecute crimes like this. That's not part of the pro hac vice at all, right? And even when I read that, I even said something in our live stream about it. I'm like, no, that is not what she's here for. So, okay, that's a valid argument. It was the wrong county. Kind of, not exactly. But Rob Wood is a special prosecutor of Madison County. This is a Fremont County case. Okay, but because he's special prosecutor, that gives him this leeway. But the judge addressed that, and they dealt with it. Okay, so he raised a good argument. It was handled by the judge in a way that we all agree with. So there you go. Now, I did some research on Rachel Smith. I'm like, oh, really? And he said, well, she doesn't have an active practice. Had he been right, that would have been an issue. But clearly his research was wrong. So there you go. But I don't know where he got that idea. I think maybe the defense team needs to practice interneting a little bit. Maybe. But there you go. The other issue that we kind of hinted at is that Madison County is going to be paying all of this money, which is going to be a lot for a Fremont County case. How does that work? That's something for Rob Wood to deal with his higher ups. Okay, so, and the judge was like, yeah, kind of. So he did raise some good points, but the judge explained them, dealt with them, everything got hashed out, and now Rachel is on the case. Jess, what do you think this means for us?
Okay, am I confused? Did he not just say she was not being reimbursed for this case, and neither was he? Would?
I don't know. I'll have to go
Is
back and
that
listen.
is that normal not to be being paid?
No, that's not
Prosecution?
normal. That's
Yeah.
not normal.
Whenever he said, yeah, she's not being paid, I was like, what? And then he said, and I'm not taking any reimbursement either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless I just misunderstood that, maybe the money's coming from the state, not the
Right.
county, the
State
other
prosecutors,
county. I don't
yeah,
know.
they don't work pro bono. It's not that.
Right. I was
So
like, what does that mean?
I'll go back and listen to it. I'll
Yeah.
get Lori Hellis's opinion on that. I'll ask,
Yeah.
some other people involved and see if we can find out what that means. The other thing that I was confused about, and I heard this quickly at the beginning, but I was moving stuff around, so I'm not sure what I heard. Did he say something about this was only about Chad?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that.
I think something happened in the breakout room before, because he specifically said, okay, but Chad's not here. Well, I want to go ahead with the thing. And then, but it was kind of like, well, why didn't they ask Mark Means about
Right.
Lori?
Mm-hmm.
So I think something was going on in the back that was about Chad that kind of
All
got
right.
carried over. But
Everyone in chat is
I
saying
don't
yes.
know.
They said only Chad. So,
Yeah.
excuse me, but
Is it a plea
But-
deal?
there may not be murder charges for Lori coming. Maybe this is about Tammy. Maybe they know that Chad was involved in the murders and Lori was not. Maybe she wasn't physically involved in the murder. Maybe she's got a conspiracy charge or something different. So maybe Rachel Smith's her whole thing is now pursuing charges against Chad. That would be a big deal. We have to go back and listen to that very carefully. Flame Lily, thank you for the super chat. Flame Lily says Wood did say he was not being reimbursed. I don't think reimbursed means not being paid technically, because he gets paid as the prosecutor. He has a weekly
Well, it's
paycheck.
a state salary, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So he's paid not by the case, but by who he is. So maybe that's the technicality. But I thought it was a weird choice of words.
Definitely. So I'm going to go back through it, of course, and tear it apart. I'm certainly Lori Hellis is going to have a newsletter, so sub to her because she's going to go over a lot of this stuff with all the legal mumbo jumbo, what it means. So, but there were a couple. Yeah, those are some interesting questions. Is this just about Chad? And because after he was done talking to John Pryor, I expected him to turn and say, "Okay, now, Mr. Means, let's talk about your client," and that didn't happen. I'm like, what? So maybe Rob Wood is only pursuing these charges against Chad, or maybe those are the only ones imminent, and the Lori stuff can happen later. That's possible. That's possible. We're gonna have to wait and see. But I got some questions, and now I'm gonna go find the answers. Goodness.
I mean, what do you think the chances are that it's murder charges and not conspiracy to commit murder?
I don't think we'd see Rachel Smith if it was a conspiracy, even though conspiracy to commit murder can carry the same penalties. I think this is big. I think this is straight up murder. Felony murder, murder one, capital murder, whatever you call it. This is going to be absolute straight up murder charge. Either it's for both kids, it's for Tammy and both kids. I don't know, but
just the thought that they wouldn't charge Lori, that town will riot.
Oh yeah, definitely will riot.
It will be, there will, and I don't use that term that way. Heads will roll if Lori doesn't get charged with something.
Salty asks when the next hearing is. The next hearing will be April 7th. That is a status conference hearing. All the attorneys will gather with the judge. They'll let them know where they are in the case and all the stuff that was vacated and all of that. So that'll be a conference on the 7th. And of course, we'll bring that live. That may not be public because of the reason for the status conference was the reason that the other hearing we didn't get to see. So it's quite possible the status conference will carry on those issues and it won't be live. But we're going to try. We'll certainly sit here and talk about it. Do I think Lori took a plea deal?
No. I think, if anything, that would have pointed at Chad took a plea deal. But I don't think that's what it is either.
I think we have to address the possibility that Lori may have, because why are they not talking about murder charges for Lori? And if Chad did take a plea deal, what does he need Rachel for?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I got some thinking to do about this, and I got some phone calls to make.
I'm hoping it's just about Tammy and not the kids, that they're going for, they might not be able to tie Lori to Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
I could be okay with that, but not tying her to the kids, nobody's going to be okay with that.
Right. Definitely, I agree. And plus, it could just be a timing thing. It's possible he's going to, that the cases will be severed and he's going to go for Chad and then go for Lori. Who knows? This is all speculation right now, but we'll do some digging. We'll talk to some people. We'll get some information and we'll solidify everything that we just saw. All we know right now is that now Rachel Smith will be working with Rob Wood in the prosecutor's office, and that is a good thing for justice.
Oh, yeah.
So let's be happy with that. The judge approved it. They had a few little minor arguments they worked out, but now we get to see the great Rachel Smith. And if you look up her history and her record, she is quite accomplished. This woman is no one to sneeze at. She is a powerhouse prosecutor. So I bet prior means are a little nervous. I would be in their shoes for sure.
I'm glad they picked a woman. I'm glad it's a woman. I think they needed a woman in there.
Yes.
In the event Lori gets on the stand, which I fully expect, she needs somebody she can't bat her eyelashes at.
Definitely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and plus I think this case, whenever we have children involved, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I think having a woman's perspective is incredibly important. So I'm glad she's there. Very, very glad.
Good balance.
So, yeah. All right, so I got to make some phone calls because I got to figure out what just happened. I will get on it today. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll be able to make a video to explain, is this just about Chad? What does that mean? How does that work? Who's paying who? Is Rob saying they're not paying Rachel for this? Really? This woman does not come cheap. Would she be willing to do this pro bono? I don't see that happening. So we'll dig into what all of that means. But that's not going to change the fact that now we have Rachel Smith on the prosecution's team. The defense better get to work because, yeah, they need to get to work for sure. So let's talk about what's coming up. I'll get these answers and hopefully get a video up in the morning or even later tonight if I get them today. The antlers. Yes, a lot of people are commenting now on our antlers who are just joining us. We're just picking on Mark Means, doing the whole Hunter antlers thing. You saw the antlers behind him in his office. We think that's really funny and almost endearing, if you want to go there. But we have antler merch. It's up on my Teespring. You can join the Antlers Amicus, which is a group of friends wearing antlers following this case. Because we're going to be here for a long time with this case. So we might as well make a group, the Antler Amicus. And let's see, Thursday we have our live stream about narcissism for channel members and Patreons. Really looking forward to that this week. We're going to be talking about how to deal with the situation when your child is the narcissist. That is tricky business. So we're going to talk about that. Jess, what is going on with you and your channels this week?
Yes. I plan on putting a video on both channels. On my Know Better, Do Better thing, I'm going to talk about chronic illness. I just got out of the hospital again. So it's going to kind of be an update on and what's going on. I might tell a little bit of my medical stuff. A lot of people don't know about that. And then on my Mistrial channel, I'm doing a video today on the Jaron Pridgeon case, which is out of Muskogee, which is another horrific family annihilator child case, 5 dead kids.
That is an absolutely gut-wrenching case, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Beth, for the super chat, and thanks to anyone who may have done super chats or joined the membership while the hearing was happening. I wasn't going to interrupt the hearing to say anything, so thank you for that. I really appreciate the support. But I have a lot of work to do today now, so I got to go get that done so I can stay on top of this for all you guys. So if anything else breaks, like if Rob Wood walks out of there and goes to drop murder charges, we will be back here live. Okay, so make sure you ring the notification bell as soon as we hear actual things about like murder charges or whatnot. We'll do a live stream and bring it to you the second we know anything. So stay tuned. Kresha, so much love to you. Please tell your mom I love her, and tell Larry I want to give him a big bear hug, and we are all here for you. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. We got you. All right, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jess, for being here. This was so much fun. I'm glad you're with me.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.